What would that limit? All right. The only trades I'm in right now is this one for buys. Hold on. And this one, UJ for buys also. So two buys, UJ, EN. Um, I mean, I've been holding this for a few weeks. I don't see it turning around anytime soon, so I'm just gonna chill. I'm just gonna hold it. Um, as you see, the 2 week did just create a level of support. And if you look immediately to the left, you see that because it also created a level of support immediately to the left, technically it's a form of a double bottom on the 2 week, which is a nice, really major, nothing to ignore type chart pattern. On the daily, we just look, it's a structure play. It's just higher highs and higher lows, getting it on a higher low, letting it rip. EN, it's a little bit more weird because it's kind of in consolidation, but if you can catch it at the right time, like you'll be all right. Because from a bigger perspective, look, so now we have our higher highs, our higher lows, our higher highs, a series of higher lows. Now, when it's like, oh, but which higher low should I get on? I find that if you can wait for some type of market manipulation at the lowest level, then in that case, it would have been maybe something that passed this level right here. Because a whole bunch of stops are right below here. So if we can tap that, then I have enough volume to continue bullish. Because the whole concept of market manipulation is if I have $5 billion that I need to inject into the market and I'm going to buy, there's no buying if you don't have any sellers. So to hit the stop loss here of the people who were in buys, the opposite of a buy is a sell. When the stop loss gets triggered, it is automatically participation in the markets. That's volatility. It's automatically a sell order. And if I'm hitting all of these sell orders right here, when I'm a hedge fund or a bank and I need to release and buy 5 billion, I can't do that unless I get these stops because it's participation that I need. Like I'm gonna hold on to the billions until I get my stops. It's just what it is. That's market mechanics. I don't think it's like market manipulation. I don't think it's evil. It's literally just the marketplace, buyers and sellers. You can't buy if there's no selling. You can't sell if there's no buyers. So that's something that I kind of understood this year. So, with all that being said, we have like a second market manipulation that happened right here. Bing! Around July 21st, right? So ever since then, I was like, okay, cool. Yeah, like I'm ready to continue buying. But the main thing that made me feel comfortable to buy was this 2 week engulfing candle. But before that, it was the weekly double bottom, right? So I have, let's fling my stuff back on my charts. Signals for what the hell? Where did you go? Where the hell? All right. All right. Fuck up is what you're saying. All right, that's cool. Signals for entry. You have my setup A, which is just a golden zone on the daily time frame. That only really works if the market is trending monthly and weekly. If it's not trending, you're not really gonna be able to use that. So then you got to shift over to monthly candle close, like we saw on Gbpnzd, which I held, and the week 2 week or 3 week candle close, like just like how it just happened here, or weekly chart pattern. So that's what's happening with this GPAUD. Um, so I really had to like re-zoom out and see what was actually happening. Now, if I ignore where we are right now and I objectively mark my most important levels, my eye immediately goes to this bitch. This is one of the strongest levels in the whole game. So to not be willing and ready to sell after I see a monthly doji, it's kind of on me, my bad type thing. I had sells And for some reason, I thought that the 2 week was gonna actually no, the weekly did end up closing bullish, but I wasn't thinking, oh, but the monthly, like, let me just hold. I was more so seeing like in my mind, I was like, okay, a level of support just created here on the weekly time frame, and I'm still above that. That means I have to wait for it to break, meaning that we could bounce here, bounce back, bounce here again. Like I exited because I felt like I'd be more comfortable if I just waited for that level to break right here. But it's like at the same time, um, prioritize what's on the highest time frame, the monthly. And so I'm like, okay, always the higher time frames is always going to take control. And that's why I exited because my ass then went to the 3 month. And I was like, if I really believe that, can I, in good faith, sell? When I look to the left on a higher time frame and I'm immediately at support and demand, like that didn't make sense to me. And that's what made me exit ultimately. It could definitely be a mistake, but um, it's all good. I'm gonna tell you something else. The monthly also did technically create a double bottom, right? So the double bottom is the fact that you made a point right here on the monthly time frame. We rejected this level, came down just to reject it again. To me, that's a double bottom. But it's also like, is it though? Because if I put my level, my little support line on this level that monthly candle has made, I do have two bearish candle closes underneath it. So it's kind of like, bro, I don't know what's happening. And that's why that cognitive dissonance, that back and forth, had me just to close out because I was like, I don't know, the monthly and the 3 months, they don't look like they're aligning. And the best thing I can do is wait for one of my signals to entry, but for buys, and that's because the 3 months looks like the way it does. And it is just what it is. Like it could definitely come hit this level and fly up. I don't know. I'm not gonna know. And then that would be missing out on this. But at least I won't have that that hesitation because I see on an even higher time frame something that does not align with my overall time frame, with my overall analysis. So yep, that's what it is right there. I also see this continuing bearish for just a little bit more, maybe. Maybe, oh, maybe, just maybe, perhaps. I have had my signal for entry, which is a 2 week bearish candle close. You see how the daily time frame definitely did give me my, point A, point B come up. This is like technically a setup A because the monthly is bearish, the weekly is bearish. There's no confusion about that. That's why I like this trade so much. If price can come back up to this level and just wick it, I'm getting in for some sells for sure. Um, that's really all I'm looking at. Those is potential sells right here. I'm not gonna want to like hold on for 4,000 years because I also do acknowledge and respect the fact that this is quite a level of support at the same time. So that's why I'm just letting it play out. I'm not even trying to rush it nowhere because rushing is not it. Maybe if I even put a little counter trend line right here. Dot, 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 dot. That's how Dapo trades with counter trend line breaks. And yeah, sometimes it makes sense. Sometimes it doesn't make sense to me, but sometimes it does. Excuse me. But yeah, we in your NTD buys, UJ buys, and looking at potential Eurogp sells once it gets to a specific level. That's all I got. I ain't really looking at anything else. Happy trading, y'all. Smite some coin today.